Hi, good afternoon. My subscriber, you, that's right, you, my subscriber. Maureen Sky, Crafty Sky Lady coming at you. I'm in Turner's Falls, one of my usual places. Today's Halloween. Happy Halloween. I didn't buy any candy because the last few years we didn't have anybody knock on the door, and candy to me is like $11 a bag. That's expensive. So anyway, I would if I knew we were getting trick-or-treaters, but we haven't in the past, and I don't need the candy sitting around spiking my sugar, that's for darn sure, although Eddie would love some. So he told me to get one bag when I'm out and about, and I may still get, but I really don't need it. My sugars have been a little high, and I'm trying to get them down. And I'm already on enough insulin. They just upped it again. So, yeah, I really don't want to be spiking my sugar. How do you like the hair, folks? I just got it done. My hairdresser, she does such a good job. I make sure I tip her good, but I am loving it. And it feels so nice. And I was ready. I needed it done. My son's got a birthday event coming up. Well, there should be a good number of people that I know there, and I want to look decent. And my hair was getting all dry, and yeah, it was time. So I feel good about that. I really like it. Makes me feel more like a person, like I'm still alive, you know? So anyway, yeah, I just came from dropping off some paperwork in Turner's on the main street, and I started a video there, but my phone dropped on me, and then I had to get out of there because I think they're getting ready for a rag shag parade or something. I am not sure, but there's a lot of people all dressed up in costume, and but I always thought they did it before the night of Halloween. I don't know. But anyway, there was cop cars with sirens, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to come over to Turner's and sit and try to do one here. And boy, the sky is awful cloudy, but where it breaks, it was blue sky and the sun was out. So I can only hope that this cloudiness leaves us and we go back to a nice sunny sky. I think we need that. But anyway, I thought I'd come to you today and do a little video. And so what is my topic? Well, because I always feel like being a storyteller, I need to have a topic, right? So my topic is ancestry. Do you know your ancestry? How old are you? I ask that because I'm sure if you're about 13 or 15, you might not really know and you might not really care, because when I was age 16, it wasn't really a matter of interest to me. Matter of fact, I just about failed my history class. I got a D only because I showed up and fell asleep at my desk every day, but not because I was intrigued by the subject or that the topic caught my interest at that age, and it doesn't. So, and like my granddaughter, who's gonna be 13 in January, I know I've told her, you know, my mother's maiden name and my father's mother's maiden name and my maiden name, and I know I've told her several times, but if I was to ask her right this minute whether she'd remember that or not, I'm not quite sure. And I get it. It's not a point of interest in their lives at that age, no. But I can only hope that, I'm sure if you're my age, more in the 70s, that you definitely know it, and it interests you. It certainly interests me, and I love the stories. I love the stories of how, you know, they came over in boats, and how long it took them to get here, and how much money they had in their pockets, and what their destination was, and the reason for them leaving their native country. And all those stories intrigue me so much, And I want to know those things, and, you know, the bloodline and all that. Yeah. And, yeah, you know, and then I know for some people it's probably not a pleasant subject when they find out, you know, if they were adopted, let's say, and then they find out their DNA is that of somebody who did something awful to somebody, or has a negative uh, reputation or something like that. I know that or they were in hopeful that, you know, somebody, their real parents would reach out to them once they learned their DNA, and that never happened. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stories, you know, that I'm totally unaware of. So I get that. But I do, you know, I'm trying to find topics that also interest me, and Ancestry is one that truly does. And I can say I know mine for the most part. There's so much more I'd love to know, and I have a cousin who did a lot of that, and she's got a big book of photos, and she kind of will, you know, you can go there and reference something, and she's good about that. But and other people too on the other side, so it's good to know. But we know enough, I guess. But I mean, you know, it's one of those, you know, topics that is a vast world of stories, and I would love to hear yours. You know, comment, tell me about yourself, where your ancestors came from, and what brought them here, or what brought them to the area and territory that they wound up in, and that they navigated to. What was the reason? And, you know, a lot of people came this way because of jobs, you know, obviously milling. And this town, Turner's Falls, was this street, Avenue A, was to be quite a big deal. And one time it was going to be a little mini, like a little mini New York City, although it's very, very, very small compared to anything like that. But if you go back to some of the history, I believe that's why they started with Avenue A, Avenue this and that, like the city. And the patch where my father grew up down back that way, I just came by there, you know, was a certain territory, it had its own little general store and a bakery and a few other things. And yeah, they called it the patch. And there was, you know, all the kids were friendly, they knew each other and this and that. Yeah. So I don't know, I just find it all interesting, and would love to know more about you, my subscribers. I'd like to learn more about you. So please throw a comment. Feel free to do that, and we'll start a little conversation going. That would be nice, right? I've got to get going and get in here, and then I'm going to take myself to a little restaurant down that way that just advertised in the paper. And it's where the Black Cow restaurant used to be. And prior to the Black Cow, all of that area was the Equise Candy Store, which is a landmark, or was a landmark for Turner's Falls for many, many years. A reputable candy store. And you could buy cigarettes and get lottery tickets there after a number of years and that. So anyway, it's there. I can't think of the name of it, and I can't think of the native country the people are from that opened it up, but it looked good. It intrigued me, and I want to give that a whirl. So I may be doing that just to treat myself. It is Halloween, so I hope that, you know, you got your candy ready if you get a lot of trick-or-treaters, and I hope you enjoy all the little goblins that show up at your door. Trick-or-treaters. And yeah, I'm gonna let you go, and until we meet again, I certainly hope the universe provides. I truly do. go seek out your ancestry, people, and let me know what you find out, okay?